So I really like that we're on camera for this, because this means that every time I see you tapping the fucking desk, I'll be able to call it out.
I don't tap the desk. I literally never tap the
You
desk.
absolutely
That's
tap
what's
the desk.
crazy.
I have you on fucking audio being like, I just hit the desk, but it's fine.
Okay, well, that was the one time that I have hit the desk. I saw restraint and I hit the desk. It was one singular
You're
time.
so full of shit.
Liesl, a toast.
Cheers. Have my peeps.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, with
Okay,
the
we got a
PBR, let's go.
PBR.
Hell yeah.
My brand.
Yeah, what's in the teacup, Ricky?
What's in the teacup?
Yeah. Or
Johnny
whatever
Walker
that counts
Black, as always.
as. Do you even own another liquor? You were drinking this on the last episode, too.
I know.
Or
I
the
know.
Naked Gun.
I've got some others. I don't want to drink anything else, honestly.
I feel like you need, like, a good bourbon, like, for this.
I do have a good bourbon.
Like, you need, like, a good...
Should I?
Well, you should be drinking that for this movie.
Yeah, maybe
No,
I
we
should,
can't.
actually.
Okay, we're already 20 minutes late. If you need to do a refill, you can go switch
All
to
right.
bourbon.
I mean, trust me, if I'm doing a refill, this pod is going to be off the fucking rails at that point, okay?
I have a feeling this pod's already gonna be off the fucking rails. So,
Hey.
you got any
Come on.
discourse you need to course about? Oh, he can't even hear me. See, this is the kind of shit I have to edit out.
Ricky.
I'm sorry.
And now we can't hear you. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Do you have any Twitter discourse that you want to pop off about before we get into it?
No, I'm surprised I haven't seen anything about this movie on Twitter. It seems like...
You never saw Bronco Henry memes on Twitter?
No.
I never
Like
heard
2 years ago?
anyone
That's
talking
crazy.
about this movie, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah, right?
I
Like
heard
nothing.
about it on NPR when it first came out. And they were talking about this big twist. And I was ready for this, like, massive twist. And then when it happened, I was like, okay, it was not that big. I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
I
That's a weird thing to brand this movie with, like it's, like a big like
Yeah.
mystery reveal.
It's got so much tension in it. Like,
I know.
I was literally watching the movie, and I got up, like, 20 minutes before it ended, because, like, I had to go to the bathroom or something, and I paused it. And when I came back, I was like, there's no fucking way there's 20 minutes left in this movie. Like, I was like, no, there's no shot. Like, there's way too much tension right now. Like, something big is going to happen.
I
And then
feel
it just,
the
like,
same-
didn't. And I
yeah.
was like, what?
Should I
Yeah.
go in a little bit?
Well, here, okay. Yeah, we'll get
Okay.
into it in a second. Okay, so this is We Want to Watch. My name's Lane.
My name's Ricky.
Wow, that was delayed as fuck. And this week, we're talking about The Power of the Dog from 2021, directed by Jane Campion. And we have on a special guest for this episode. This movie's we decided it's a Liesl's upheaval.
Yeah.
How do you feel about
I
that?
listened to, like, the back half of last week's episode. That is that's horrible. That's the best you guys could come up with.
Do you have some?
Yeah,
you-
I
yeah,
did.
what are you
I
gonna
did
use here? Come
workshop
on,
this a
Jesus.
little bit. So my first thought
All
was
right.
I
Please do,
should have
please.
picked. I should have picked second movies. Like, I should do, like, a running thing where I only pick sequels, and then it could be Liesl's sequels.
Oh, that would be pretty good.
See,
yeah.
But I also
I do think you could do a different thing every time too. It could be like
That's true.
one time it's a Liesl's upheaval, one time it's a Liesl's sequel.
I also have Liesl's reels. That kind of rhymes. And then I
Okay.
have
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liz's biz, like showbiz.
Ooh, that's a good one. I kind of like Liz's biz. I didn't want to make the jump to
To
shortening the
Liz,
name
yeah. I
without
like
your,
Liesl's
you know.
reels. I think
Yeah.
it's, like, just off enough where it's like, what? That doesn't make sense.
Okay. All right. Well, this week we have on for this Liesl's reel, our good friend, bug enthusiast, and lady killer, Liesl. Liesl, welcome to the pod.
Thank you so
Welcome
much
to
for
the
having
pod.
me. I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you have been itching to talk about this movie, not even on the podcast, but just in the group chat.
Yeah,
For like forever.
I think so.
basically.
I saw it probably a couple months after it came out, and then I watched it recently because I could not stop thinking about Bronco Henry. Like, every couple weeks, it would just feel like Bronco Henry's in there. And I finally rewatched the movie a couple weeks ago and messaged you about it. Like, I need to talk about this. I don't know. I've been taking notes. I have so many questions. Yeah.
I like that you took notes before you were gonna come on the podcast. Like that it
Just
was
to
like,
have
just
them,
have to
Yeah,
right?
get
because
this
I had
out.
Yeah.
questions for you. I was going to talk about this movie with you, whether it's recorded or not. Like, this convo was happening.
How old were you when you first came to Bronco Henry?
Came?
What? No. Doesn't he say something like that? He says it like,
How old
I
are
gotta
you
get-
when
He
you
says,
met
like, when-
Bronco Henry?
when he-
And he's like, about
Oh,
the
yeah,
age
yeah,
you
yeah.
are now.
Well, okay, so I've seen this movie.
I gotta get the cat.
Oh god damn it! This guy's driving me wild. He's just killing the momentum.
Hey.
Well, when you have 10 cats to wrangle.
Yep, 25. It might as well be.
Oh, God.
Seeing him just running in the background. It's like Bigfoot.
Oh, my
You got
God.
the Patterson Gimlin film.
What did I miss? I'm sorry.
We stopped talking.
Wow. Sheesh. Dead air.
We
Cut
wanted
that.
to wait for you.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you. I have a laser pointer
Something
now,
I-
so hopefully I can distract
Oh.
Peter.
Good. Good.
That
Good.
sounds
I love
particularly
to
good.
know that. I love to know that this is the shit you do while we record each week off
No,
off camera.
normally
that
the
I don't
cats aren't
see.
that bad, but pretty bad this week.
So
Pretty bad.
I've only seen this once before, but I noticed on this watch that Bronco Henry was 50 when he died.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, and, I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch can't be older than 40, 45 at the oldest in this movie, right? Like, his character,
So-
probably, like, 30s, like, mid-30s.
How old do we think Peter is in the movie? Like 17?
Yeah,
And
probably,
he
yeah,
said
just about that
they
age.
started on the ranch in 1900, which was, when did
Right.
he die? 1904
25
he
years
died.
ago.
So does
Yeah.
that mean that
Yeah.
Bronco Henry was 46 and he was like 17?
Yeah. Yeah. It really adds a dimension to like the weird kind of like turn
Yeah.
that Phil gives, you know, at the end, like toward the end, toward, you know, taking Peter under his wing and
Right.
everything. It adds a creepy dimension I didn't pick up on.
I did
first
not
watch.
either. Yeah. Can I give like a little
Ricky-
bit of a synopsis of the movie really quick?
Oh yeah, because Liesl is like one of our biggest critics and thinks that we should be
Look,
doing a
it
fucking
makes sense.
synopsis.
I
I
was
actually
listening to
agree
the
with that, though. I
Playtime
agree with that,
episode,
though.
and I was
You're
like,
so-
"What the
you
fuck is this
traitor."
even about?"
That's
Well,
what
I
I'm
could-
saying,
I
right?
couldn't
If
give you a
people haven't
Playtime
seen
synopsis.
the movie, that's okay. That's a tough one, right?
Okay, well,
Um,
regardless, even the naked gun.
Please
I
go
was
ahead.
like, is he?
Yeah.
I didn't get it. Anyway,
Okay.
okay, so it's about two brothers that live on a ranch in like the middle of Montana. Nothing is around them. One of the brothers is dirty and disgusting, and that's Benedict Cumberbatch, and the other one is dapper and I don't know, nice, and that's Jesse Plemons.
Hot.
And
He's
Jesse
fucking hot.
Plemons meets
We'll
a
talk.
woman, Kirsten Dunst.
Come back.
Kirsten Dunst. It's Kirsten. Kirsten? It's Kirsten.
Kirsten. Yep. Kirsten.
Kirsten.
And Benedict Cumberbatch fucking hates her, and we don't really understand why, and makes her life miserable living in the house together. And she has a kid, and Benedict Cumberbatch is bullying her kid, who's like a little Twinkie string bean type, brooding little nerd, and it's just a lot of moody scenery, music, and Benedict Cumberbatch just like being dirty and mad all the time. And then the twist is that he's gay and he's like obsessed with Bronco Henry, who was his mentor kind of. And then the kid kills Benedict Cumberbatch because he's bullying his mom. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
nice though.
okay.
Are they like fraternal brothers? Are they actually brothers?
Yeah, they're brothers.
Okay.
Yeah, because they have their parents. Or
Yeah, the old man, the
gent-
old lady.
lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if that was just like a colloquial phrasing because
No, they
the
weren't
governor
just bros.
like makes fun of him. He was like, oh, like your brother studied what is it? Studied
No,
the
he's not making
classics in
fun of him.
college, wasn't he? I thought he was sort of.
That's
making fun of him.
true. That's no. He was. I mean, he's stating the truth. I think it's like played as like a, you know, you're not sure if he's joking or not at first because you're like, this guy went to Yale? Like, fuck you.
Right.
No, he didn't. But
That's-
it's all a facade.
That is literally my first question is just Yale ? I'm so confused about their backstory. Like, where did they grow up? How did they end up on this ranch? Like, if they grew up on the ranch, because the parents don't live there with them in that big old house. So, like, I'm just confused how someone ended up at Yale and how they came back.
Yeah, I think the idea is that he went to Yale after the Bronco Henry stuff, because Bronco Henry, right, dies like you said, 4 years after they met.
Yeah.
And so I got the impression, like, they were like on a ranch, maybe not this ranch, or maybe it's this ranch and the parents moved off. But then, after that, he like went to Yale, tried to hack it as a Yale guy, but something happened out there probably. So, probably something similar to the Bronco Henry stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, and he was ostracized or something and came back and became
That's
a
the
dick.
thing. I'm like, if you're not like gaying it up at Yale, like that's a prime opportunity.
Yeah, where else
Come
are you
on.
gonna go?
Well,
Yeah.
because like his brother Jesse Plemons becomes the owner of the ranch, right? Like, what's his face? Jim.
I think they're
Is it
co-owners,
Jim?
but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
George
George?
is Mr.
George.
Plemons' names.
No,
Yeah,
well,
her
well,
name.
right. But I mean, his brother Jim Benedict Cumberbatch.
Phil.
Phil and George.
Yeah.
George.
Pull
It's
Jim
crazy
from.
how you can't keep
I
names
know.
straight.
Yeah.
I literally
yeah.
just
It's
watched
nuts.
clips and I didn't even remember Benedict Cumberbatch's name. So.
At all? Oh, his name. They're gonna be like, I just forgot that character.
Yeah.
No.
I'd like to forget him. Every time he was on screen this watch, I was like, get this fucking guy off the
What do you
screen.
mean?
I
He was
hate
great.
you."
No, he was great.
No, he's so unlikable. I mean,
right,
he does
like,
a good
yeah.
job in the role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think another
supposed to
thing
be.
But I don't want to see him.
I was so like curious about is that they do have this huge fucking giant house and yet they sleep in the same bedroom on two twin beds. What is going on there? And then when Kirsten Dunst moves in,
Yeah.
they are in the bedroom directly next door sharing a wall. It's like, what is going on?
Well, right, like they probably grew up in that room together, and so they just never moved out, right? Like
But
that's my
they're,
idea of like
How
initially
old
with the
are
twins.
they? In their 30s, 40s?
What?
I'm not defending.
Guys can't
It's
have
just-
hobbies? Is
it's
that what you're
just-
saying here?
It's
Like,
just so bizarre.
a couple of guys being dudes in their room together, you're gonna frown on that?
I
I think a lot
also
of it might come
imagine-
down to just that, like, the rooms are like conjoined by the bathroom, right? And it's like a shared bathroom, so
That's
they
what I'm
sort of
thinking, too.
yeah. So like the walls are like,
And, like,
not
the-
great between them.
Yeah, and I imagine it's like old-timey houses. It's probably like there was like a wing where the bedrooms were, and that's it. And like you wouldn't go sleep in like where the maids were or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
so the
but it is still bizarre.
the
It
kid
sucks.
kind of sleeps like away from, or we don't really know where he sleeps in
That's
relation
true.
to
That's
everyone else.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because we know that Phil doesn't even like using the inside toilet and bath. So, like, why does
Yeah,
he
that motherfucker
care
does
if he's
not
close to
bathe.
the bathroom?
You could go down for a wash before the dinner. It's
Well,
tough to say.
I mean, that adds to it. That adds to it though, because he sees Kirsten Dunst as like an interloper, right? And like
Yeah.
she's the one who's like encroaching on his like beloved relationship with his brother, who he like still despises, but it's all he has.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if they had gone and fucked in some other bedroom, he would still be all salty about it.
Benedict Cumberbatch is so mean in this movie. Like, in the beginning of the movie, I was like, oh, okay, like, they're brothers, it's a little bit of banter. And then, like, after, like, 5 minutes, I was like, why is he still being mean to him? Like,
It's like,
the
you
whole
fat
movie-
fuck.
Yeah!
Why
like,
don't you have a wife?
constantly.
Like,
I thought it was like,
chill
oh,
out.
like they're ribbing each other in the morning, and then, like, they're, like, out, like, ranching. And he was still being mean to him. And I'm like, dude, like, what's going on here, man?
well, yeah, and George doesn't respond
At all,
It's not like
yeah.
he's like, yeah, he's just like shuts him off. Like he's so used to it, he just doesn't even hear it anymore.
Sucks.
So bizarre that either of them stay there. I guess, I don't know, if I were George, I'd be like, fuck you. Stop being so mean to me. I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think,
I
it's a
think he
sort of-
doesn't know. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think it's a sort of like learned dependence, right? Because like obviously the ranch is in some way profitable, right? Like they have a lot of cow hands coming in. They
That's
like,
true.
Totally.
and George probably handles like the more economic side of that, while Phil handles the like the real like day-to-day operations. And I mean, like the way the cowhands interact with like each character is like very like indicative of that, right? Like anytime George asks for something, like all the cowhands are really sort of like they're there, but they're like respectfully there. Meanwhile, Phil is like really sort of it's Jim. Is it Phil?
It's Phil.
It's Phil.
Open up the Wikipedia page. Do something. I know you got monitors
yeah,
there.
yeah. Wow. See if I open it. I'm just gonna.
I have the tab open. I'm prepared, man.
Fair. But like meanwhile, Phil like he's very sort of like nonchalant with the guys. Even when like he's like commanding authority, it's always in like a very sort of like of the land type way, I guess. I don't know.
Well, and but there's like a couple scenes where he kind of like doesn't get physical with them, but he does like wrestle with them a little bit, like in the barn at one point.
Oh, he's wrestling.
Yeah, and
he's a wrestler. Yeah.
So it is like he has a good rapport with them, and maybe there's something else going on there, or maybe they have to probably suspect with how much this guy goes off about Bronco Henry.
Yeah, dude.
There's probably rumors and stuff. Yeah.
I'd be surprised if there wasn't a little, every now and again, right? Like, come on.
Yeah. I think the cast is really okay. I think everybody in this is really good except for Kirsten Dunst. I'm on the fence about her. What do you guys think?
So, one of my questions on my list is, why is Kirsten's hair blonde? And I don't remember what I was thinking when I wrote that, but it looks bad.
You're just like,
well,
why would they choose
greasy.
to make her look bad here? Like, what's going on?
I feel like they make her look a little bit roughed up. Not so much in the beginning, but they give her this like berry lipstick that looks just awful.
Yeah.
And I think that's just to make her look a little bit more like run down when she's in the throes of alcoholism. And they grease her hair up too because she's all sweaty from like lying in the bed. And it looks like she has like ramen for hair.
Yes,
like it's tough.
Like when she's doing her little monologue when Peter comes in and he's like, you don't have to do this anymore. I'm gonna make sure you don't.
That's when he makes the decision to kill Phil, right?
Yeah.
Like that's when like when he sees his mom being loony. Yeah. But do you guys think she does a good job being an alcoholic?
I do personally. At least seeing the way that her inner turmoil sort of plays out, and then because she doesn't want to be there, right? Like she's very fish out of water. Sort
from
of like
the beginning.
Yeah, like field mouse in like a city almost, but it's still like out in the field, I guess.
The opposite.
Yeah, right. But I don't know. I guess I wouldn't call her a city mouse. I guess she would be from the city because she said that she played in cantina.
The cinema pits.
Cinema pits, yeah.
I didn't even think about that because
She's in
she
the
still
Star Wars
kind
cantina.
of lives in the middle of nowhere in like that inn wherever they were doing their cattle run thing.
Yeah.
It seemed like they had people like passing by every now and again, where it was like normal for people to come in and say like, hey, you got 12 people, 12 diners coming in, yada yada. I don't know, but she definitely had like a different like way of living, a different style of life, which was more comfortable to her. Which like you immediately see her pulled out of the what do they call it? Pianano.
Panano.
He mocks her by calling it the Panano.
Yeah. Is that what that was? I didn't pick up on like why they kept calling it a Panano. I was like
I think he was just fucking with
Phil
her.
was just
like pronouncing it wrong,
being an ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, classic, indicative of the whole film.
Yeah.
This movie can be really confusing because you aren't entirely sure, especially the first watch. Like, what is he getting at? Like, why is he picking on her? Is there some greater joke that he's telling? But no, he is just an asshole.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, you're like, oh, all this time you were just a dick and you didn't need to say all that shit. Yeah. But
how did we feel about Benedict Cumberbatch's accent?
I think he sounds like Jack Nicholson.
I think in the very beginning where he's like looking at the paper flowers and he's like, well, ain't that purty? I was like, this sounds so bad. Like, don't ever say anything like that again because that sounded so non-American to me. Like, I don't know, just the way he said it.
I mean, I really like that scene itself, so like maybe I'm being biased with it, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's also like the first chance we get to see like his I don't know, like he's obviously a homophobe, right? Like, because he's like very like he tells the kid, he's like, hey, like stop being this, don't let your mom make you a sissy. He like obviously looks down on him for like being sort of like twinkish, like very sort of like proper and polite, I guess.
Yeah.
But like on the flip side, like he's obviously very attracted to that. So like, I don't know. It makes sense that he'd be like uncomfortable, and like I don't know. The whole movie is like a really cool case study on that, and like the way that he sort of approaches the situation, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so repressed. He doesn't want to see. He doesn't want to see Peter like. He's like, you can't do that shit out here. Like, put that away.
Yeah.
Like, put your gay away.
Yeah. It is like
But
really
he's just as bad.
sad, I think, especially he just has to prove how masculine he is all the time. Like, he never fucking bathes, and he's just so filthy all the time. And when he castrates the bull, and his like ranch hand right next to him is like, why aren't you using gloves? And he's like, this is just the way it works for me.
Gloves.
And that's when he cuts
He's like
his hand.
licking his hands and shit.
That's when he cuts his hand,
yeah.
which is how he gets poisoned and dies.
So
That's like very fascinating to me, just how obsessed he is with like, it's like clown masculine, it's like past hyper masculine. Like all the dudes around him are like, what are you doing, man? Like you're like so far on the opposite end. It's like, it's weird.
So
Yeah,
even when he's like sick,
overperforming.
yeah, like he is overperforming constantly, and even when he's sick, like, and his brother's like, hey, we gotta like get those shoes off and everything, he's like, no, I'm good, and then he starts like taking off his shirt himself. Like, no need for that, man. Like,
Yeah.
you got your brother.
Actually, so interesting is, so at the end when he's really sick and he puts his suit on because he knows he's gonna die, and that suit, it's like they're gonna have to change me into the suit to be buried anyway, so let me change into that suit. And this is like, I feel like the first time he's like, well, I'm gonna be clean and I'm gonna wear clean clothes, and it took this being like on death's fucking door to be able to do this, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's also like the first time he's being considerate of others there too, right? Like,
that's true.
Like that's very out of character for him to be like, well, like these guys are gonna have to do it anyway.
I guess I won't make them take off my like starchy, like so dirty and disgusting they could walk underwear and shit.
Like mud encrusted. When he did the mud bath scene, I was like, yo.
I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, he's just like a pig in shit.
Yeah, he's getting into
like,
it. He was enjoying it too.
Yeah. Ugh. It really is fascinating. Like his psychology and this, like Kirsten Dunst and Jesse Plemons, they are interesting characters, but Phil and Peter are like the way that they interact and like reflect each other and manipulate each other and get under each other's skin in the back like 30 or 40 minutes of the movie is really, really like complex and meaty.
Yeah, I thought the scene where they're in, I don't remember where they were going. They were in the field and there was a rabbit that got scared and ran under that like pile of wood. It got hurt and they pull it out and Phil tells fucking Peter like, okay, take care of this so it's not just suffering, and Peter just fucking snaps his neck like instantly.
Like it's nothing.
And Phil was shook. Phil was like, holy shit, I was not expecting that. I was trying to like torture you with this, make you suffer by like killing an animal. But little does he know that Peter has been killing and dissecting animals in his own home the whole time. So yeah.
And I mean, Peter was like caressing it there too. Like it looked like he was like, oh, like maybe like Phil's obviously like, oh, like this kid's got a soft spot, he's gonna like take it home or something, like, try to look after the rabbit, like that's gonna suck when the thing dies on him. And then like it like the scene lasts just long enough that you're like, oh, like maybe he might try to help it. And then like the crack, it's so sickening, and like it's off screen too, so it's just like, oh, Pete, man. Like a really cool way that they like just frame the scene like from start to end there,
because you see him like holding it and petting it, and then and then off that was good.
And it didn't stop him before though, like when he brought the one home to his mom, and his mom's like, oh, a rabbit, and she's like sauced, so she she's like chasing it around the room, and then like a scene later fucking Thomas and Mackenzie walks in and, sees that he's got it, like, cut open and its organs, like, in different bowls. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
How much do you buy that it's about, that he is, like, just interested in whatever surgery and like, being a doctor or medicine, and how much of it is, like, do you think that he's, like, a sociopath, like, that this kid is, like, just totally, or do you think it's just he kind of applied his skills to get rid of Cumberbatch?
I'd say the latter, just because, like, off of that last scene where it's sort of, like, zooming, it pans back from the window, and then, like, you see that sort of, like, smile on his face. Like, he was doing it for his mom. He saw it as, like, oh, I'm doing this for my mom. I'm doing this for Jesse Plemons.
Yeah.
It wasn't... I mean, I don't know if, like, a sociopath would, like... I don't
Do
know.
something for others.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it was also for him, but, like, I don't think he would even, like, delight in their, like, enjoyment, like, in the time that they spend together,
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's both for sure. I don't think if he was just wanted to be a doctor, he would be able to pull it off and then, like, be, smiling when his mom and George are coming back from the party or whatever, and, like, having a romantic moment, and he's watching them from the window and being happy. I don't know.
Yeah, he's practically, like, steepling his fingers, like he got away with it, like Mr. Burns, like,
I mean, he kind of fucked up his Hippocratic Oath, like, right out the gate, too, so.
Yeah, he hadn't taken it yet.
Oh, right.
What was this,
Yeah.
the 20s?
It's not retroactive.
Whatever.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't know.
That shit was roaring, They didn't give a fuck what was going on.
Yeah, I think it's both. I think he had the skills and applied them how it suited him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, almost devious the way he enacted it. Like, he saw the cow. He had to know it was.
Oh, he went
had
out to
anthrax.
find the cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scene was really cool too. Like, I mean, the whole movie's really well shot, right? But, like, you can, like, feel like
incredible.
the tension
Yeah.
in him, and, like, when the horse is, like, going down the
Oh,
gravel,
yeah.
it's like you're almost, like, gasping with every step. Like, it's, like, tense. The whole movie is so tense. It's like the whole time.
because just like a minute prior to that, he, like, ate shit on the horse.
Yeah.
Like, he, like,
Yeah,
fell
yeah.
over, basically, like, riding the horse, and so now he's going down this steep-ass mountain. You're like, okay, sure, this guy's just got, like, skills upon skills. But he does. Yeah. Have you guys seen any other Jane Campion movies? Like The Piano or Bright Star or any of those?
I haven't. I looked up the trailer for The Piano, like, when I first watched Power of the Dog, and I know it's, like, Holly Hunter and Harvey Keitel, and I wanted to watch it because Harvey Keitel's, like, hot as hell in that movie, but I haven't seen it.
True. That movie made me see Harvey Keitel in a different way. That movie was, I was like skeptical going in, and then I was like, oh, I see.
I'm looking up the picture.
I'm on
It
board.
made a believer out of you. You're like, oh, all right.
It did. Which we'll talk about Jesse Plemons here in a bit. Hopefully Christopher's like out smoking. Oh yeah, Banksy's
Yeah,
back.
you got Banksy.
See, this is what a good cat looks like. Just hanging out in the background, not causing noise or making me get up from my desk.
Archie, be a good baby.
Oh my god, picking it up ass first.
This is what a good cat looks like. Boom. Here's Archie.
Oh, he is cute. Archie's good.
Lionel's being good and laying down, so I'm not
Should
going
we-
to disrupt him. I
That's
got
good.
Kita here too.
Should we Photoshop pictures of our cats into our podcast cover art?
Yeah. I don't
Is
know
that
why
what
we
we
haven't
should do?
already. Yeah.
That's a great
100%.
idea. Jeez. Wait, why haven't we thought of that yet?
Jeez, the power of the cat over here.
Did you find a picture of Harvey Keitel?
Yeah.
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 He's hot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, what do you guys think about the significance of the title, Power of the Dog? Like, I get the Bible passage verse, right? But, like...
The dog in
I
the
don't know.
mountain. When they're...
Oh, yeah,
when
yeah.
Phil is like, what do you
Shadow.
see up there? And everyone's like, I don't fucking know. And he's like, if you know, you know. And I'm not going to tell you. But that was actually amazing because when he shows Peter's like, yeah, it's a fucking dog. And Phil's like, what? Like, no one's ever
Yeah.
gotten that before.
You saw that
My
just
little
now?
quiz.
Except for Bronco Henry, of course.
Well,
He's
yeah.
the one who
Of
saw
course.
the dog.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
Well,
what, in that
I think-
the fucking thing the video that I sent you. That was like if you
Oh, yeah.
if you say Bronco Henry one more time, In that it said, the dog that only gay people can see in the mountain.
Please. When they were first talking about that too, he was like, "Oh, there's just something up there," you know, and like in the background, some of the guys were like, "Oh, I bet it's an animal." He was the most like bro talk.
Yeah, he's like, "You can see animals right up there."
Yeah. They were like, "Is it a tree?"
Like, I saw some aliens. Yeah. No, I basically think that Cumberbatch in this movie is like a succubus, and I think kind of tying into, I'm serious, like he like basically leeches. He's been leeching off his brother this whole time. He has like fresh meat, you know, in Kirsten Dunst when she kind of comes in and like disrupts the whole, you know, flow of what he's gotten used to in his like hidden bachelordom, like, right? Because he's mad because Jesse Plemons was also a bachelor and like kind of like could take some of the probably like homophobic heat off of him because they were both bachelors into their, you know, 30s and 40s. And so now it's like, well, this woman came in here with her gay kid and, you know, like ruined everything. And so he kind of turns his attention to her. And that's how I think, because of the Bible verse that the title is drawn from, where it's like, I got to stop my mom from being subject to the power of the dog. I guess that's kind of my interpretation. Because, yeah, I do think there's almost like a supernatural element to this with like the sweeping kind of fantastical imagery. I mean, it's just New Zealand, but it looks like, you know, fucking Mars, like out there.
That's true. So. I was actually thinking about that. I was like, there's no fucking way this was shot in Montana, because like the Rockies are nice, but that's like, I don't know, the peaks look crazy.
Yeah. There's dogs in them.
There's dogs in those peaks.
They got dogs in them hills, yeah. The whole movie was just like, honestly, like so beautifully shot. I mean, not just like the landscapes, but like the close shots were so well done. But the landscapes are crazy. Oh man.
Yeah, if you like this movie, I would highly recommend you watch The Piano. The Piano is very different, like setting. It's beachy, you know, in a way, but it's also similarly like very beautiful. The environment tells a story and kind of evokes a really strong tone for the story itself. So,
does The Piano take place in New Zealand?
Yes, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
What happened to Old Zealand?
Moving on. So do you want to talk about Jesse Plemons now? Can I give you the
I figure
platform
we'll come up.
so
It'll come up.
Yeah, I think it's come up.
Yeah,
I think this is where it's come up. Yeah. Get on the soapbox.
All right. I mean, I don't really have much to say here other than like between him and Kiki Dunst in this movie, like
Kiki Dunst?
Here comes the train, choo choo. I mean, Kiki, I don't know what you want.
You
like,
love me. Are you riding?
She's
so you'll never Bronco Henry beside me.
She played Kiki in Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oh, okay. All right, I didn't know that. I thought you were just you're like cool with Kirsten Dunst. You're like, Kiki.
Yeah, I am. Like I said, the previously mentioned train. I think that Jesse, my boy Jesse, in this movie, he does a really good job of kind of holding an emotional center, since he's the one who is the most stable of them all. I would say in behavior. The only thing he does in here that, you know, is his character does that's like even questionable is he kind of throws her to the wolves, basically, by leaving for an extended amount of time. But that's just, I feel like that's garden variety, like men
male
rule the world
inattention
in the 20s kind of a thing. Yeah. So he's not going to think about his, you know, his wife and his fucking Grinch of a brother, like just monstrous man. So, but no, I like the scene. I think actually the best scene in the movie, despite how all the action and stuff really kind of happens in the last like 30 minutes or whatever. I do think the best scene, like the most powerful one, is him and Kirsten Dunst in the carriage or the car when they're coming back from being married.
And they have
she like they have a cute little picnic, and he just says like, it feels so good to not be alone anymore.
Yeah.
That's like, it really kind of encapsulates like how fucking awful it must have been for the last 30 years or whatever of like the two of them.
Yeah.
You know, just only having to live with Cumberbatch all day, every day.
Right. And it's so sweet too, because they're like, you know, having a sweet time, and then he goes off to like stare into the distance, but he's actually crying, and she comes over
And starts crying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you Plemons pilled suddenly? Are you seeing it?
Look, can I tell you the reason why I
Leo?
don't like don't think he's attractive at all? You're gonna have to bleep this.
Sure.
Because he has the same it's a Justin thing.
No, we've talked about this, I feel like.
It's not good.
I'll bleep his name.
And it's also like Philip Seymour Hoffman also has this like gingery thing going on, and I don't know why I don't like him so much. Like, he just grosses me out when I see him in movies. This is so mean, but like it's also because Justin was fucking obsessed with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I feel like
Everything
we've
is
talked about this almost.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
That's fair. I understand that. I can, if it's really hard when a celebrity or like an actor looks like somebody that you cannot fucking stand in real life. Like that can really poison the well there. Yeah. So I understand.
But the second watch, I was like,
so are you more of a Cumberbatch fan? No, just kidding.
Yeah, like the Edward versus
Edward versus
what's it,
Jacob.
Jacob?
Super
Edward
hula?
Jacob, yeah.
I did not watch any Benedict Cumberbatch movies for so long because when I was in high school, I watched Atonement, and in that movie,
he's like the douchebag in Atonement.
Rapes a child, and I was like, I do not ever want to see this man on screen again. And I'm like definitely over that, but I don't know.
Did you even like forego The Hobbit because of that?
Is he in The Hobbit?
Shut the fuck up.
he was
plays
Smaug. He was the dragon.
He plays the dragon. Wait, Liesl, have you never seen the clip of him
Hobbit?
doing motion capture?
No,
For
Yeah, he does.
Ricky, have you not seen this? Okay.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I don't. He has like
Really
a
good
weird,
stuff,
like
yeah.
melty, like silly putty face that is also like really gross to me. So I don't know. Not into it.
Well, yeah, him and Jesse Plemons kind of have like opposite faces. I feel
true,
like
yeah.
Jesse Plemons' face is like really close, like in the center, and like Benedict Cumberbatch's is like spread out all the way. It's like the me, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like if you make a me, but like it's just like the two like opposite ends of the spectrum there.
Yeah. Bronco Henry could have played Smaug.
True.
Who do you think would have played Bronco Henry if Bronco Henry?
I don't
was
think
alive?
any man could have played Bronco Henry.
Honestly, that's so true. That's so true.
Yeah.
Ricky.
No man alive. They don't make them like that anymore.
They
You know?
really don't.
You know who would
True.
actually kind of Clint Eastwood? Am I crazy for saying Clint Eastwood would be Bronco Henry?
Eastwood
Like,
is
because
so I imagine he is so anti-gay that like I can't ever see.
Oh, for sure.
That chemistry. You know what I mean? Or,
no,
like,
for
a
sure.
vibe
But
at
that's
all.
yeah. But that's part of the thing is right. He's this larger than life character, not because he's actually exceptional, but because Phil was so in love with him. So it kind of makes sense that he would be different than the like Paul Bunyan-esque kind of like character. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's 10 feet tall, He's got
Yeah.
axe, massive axe.
You know what? Kurt Russell could have been a good Bronco Henry, actually.
Ooh, that is a good point, yeah.
Go off on Kurt Russell for a little bit, Liesl, because we're stands here.
I'm
so.
a Kurt Russell fan over here, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we're-
don't know.
You're in good company.
He's a babe. We need to find somebody we all agree on, since
I know.
we can't all rally behind Jesse.
Colin Farrell, anyone?
Oh, right. We were talking about Colin Farrell.
Ricky.
Right.
Ricky's.
He could be
are you
Bronco
looking up a
Henry.
picture right now, Ricky?
Yeah,
Ricky's
just one
looking at
second.
Colin Despite the fact that we've been sharing pictures of Colin Farrell for the last week
Yeah.
in the group
Oh,
chat.
this guy looks like a freaking Irish singer.
Yeah, he's Irish.
He's Irish.
He is Irish. Okay, all right. Well,
You're onto something there.
yeah, right.
Shall we talk about?
Oh, he was in The Lobster.
Oh, I haven't seen The Lobster in a really long time.
Same. Yeah.
He's in it.
The actor that played Peter, Cody Smith McPhee. How was his performance? I thought it was amazing, and I'm curious why we have not seen him in anything since. Because I thought that he was gonna kind of blow up after that Timmy Chalamet style.
Yeah, he was.
Is he
Yeah,
young?
he was nominated for an Oscar. Yeah, he's like our age. A little
Oh,
bit
okay.
younger.
I thought he was like, I honestly thought he was like a
Younger.
teen or like, yeah, like teen,
Yeah.
maybe
Well, I guess-
early 20s in this movie.
When this movie came out, he was probably, or was made, he was probably like 23.
he's
but I mean, it has been
Australian. Oh, he
3,
is
almost 4
27.
years.
What the hell?
Yeah.
He's 27.
Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What the fuck?
Wait, did you just dox our age? Oh my god. Ricky's
No,
gonna lose
you
his
did
mind.
actually by saying, "Wow,
by
he's like
just
our
saying
age." So,
I said like. Yeah.
right, like as they're
no.
called metaphors.
I'm not 27,
God.
so
Well,
it's fine.
Benedict.
Speak for yourself.
Benedict
Believe
Cumberbatch.
all of that.
I'm not 27 either. I mean,
All right, speak for yourselves. Believe
Oh
that.
yeah, it was just your birthday, Lane.
Yeah, it was. We did a guest birthday.
Bleep it. Bleep
record and
all of this. Like,
It's fine. We've
this
already
is
talked
bad
about all this
OPSEC.
shit.
It's
Oh my God.
over.
Oh my god.
What were you gonna say about
I
Benedict
think part of
Cumberbatch? Sorry.
he has not done any movies either, really, other than the Marvel movies, like other than Doctor Strange 6 or whatever the
what?
fuck. Like he hasn't done anything else either. Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch is in the Marvel stuff,
Oh,
and
I
he's
thought you were talking about
that's the only thing
kid.
he's
I
been
was
in.
like, they were both
No,
in
not the kid.
Doctor Strange?
Sorry.
Okay, gotcha.
well, the kid was in X-Men. He was an X-Man. I don't know. I'm
He was
not
an
those movies
X-Man?
aren't my bag, but he was.
X-Men Apocalypse
Yes.
in 2016.
I mean, I think he's still a man. I don't. He's an X-Man too.
But
thank you.
It seems like he's
Yeah, he
a
played
Prada
Nightcrawler.
model. That's nice.
Sure.
He has the bod for
Speaking of,
He was in
inverse of each
Paranorman.
other,
Hey, that's a good movie.
he was the voice of Mr. Norman.
Was he? Wow, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I feel like he, just like Plemons and Cumberbatch have opposite faces. I feel like this kid kind of has the opposite of Timmy Chalamet's face. Do you see it? It's like
Yeah, but it's
Chalamet
it's a
has,
very
like,
different opposite,
small features
right?
spread out,
Yeah.
and this kid has like big features condensed. I feel like.
I guess, but they're so
I don't know, but you're
like to the
yeah.
average man, they're the same person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
No, I
they
don't know.
do-
No, this
we're
guy's
too
got like a
discerning.
very different face. Yeah, no, this guy's got like a
But they're
hugely
both,
different
like,
face from
little-
Timmy.
You know,
Twinkie,
twink,
yeah,
dark
like
hair,
they look like
kinda
street
curly,
lights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Creepy energy. If you
I,
like,
this
look
guy has
up
way
in a bright
creepier
lit room.
energy than Timothy. Timothy Chalamet, in my opinion.
Timotei.
Timothy.
Yeah.
Did you see Wonka,
I
Liesl?
saw it in theaters by myself.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Sweet.
It
Good
was-
watch. That's great.
It was fine. It was fine.
Just
Yeah,
fine?
It was.
Yeah, it was just fine.
Or-
To me.
Alright.
Yeah.
I don't
Did
know
you
why
see
this
Dune
kid
2?
hasn't blown up.
Did I see
Oh, yeah.
Dune? I haven't seen any of the Dunes. Either of the Dunes.
Wow. Okay. I've
Those are
heard
worth seeing
they're
in the theater.
yeah, I've heard they're pretty up there.
Yeah, I've heard you guys talking about them before.
For.
I don't remember what episode that was. Maybe the whatever the what's his fucking name? Wow, Ben Affleck movie. Good Will Hunting episode.
Oh, Goodwill Hunting. Yeah.
I'm a follower.
great app.
I follow.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Bit of a we want to watcher. Don't know if you heard of us.
Is that what you call your fans?
Bit of a watcher.
I don't know.
Oh,
we
they're
didn't have a name for them.
watchers.
Yeah, they're watchers, right?
Unless they're like wannabes.
I kind of like wannabes. That's not bad.
How many
It's-
people
it's
actually
derogatory,
listen to this
but, you know.
podcast? Do you guys have the stats?
The number of subscribers versus the number of like listeners is different. Usually our episodes get like 20 to 30.
Oh fuck.
But
Yeah, right?
yeah.
Now
Big
people,
audience
now
in the
people
room
get
with
to
us.
that many
pay
friends.
to listen to me talk. Amazing.
They don't pay.
They're not paying.
They
Yeah,
ain't
this
paying.
is a free service.
This is a free ass
Yeah.
episode.
Then why have I been
Yeah.
sending Ricky $20 every time I listen to an episode?
Well, listen, that's the Rick tax. I don't know what to tell you, all right? I'm like personally like pulling the IP address of every listener and I'm
For
like sending them
$20 a
emails.
Venmo requesting.
Yeah.
It's to support his cats. You're paying child support.
Yeah. It all goes to cat food, nothing else.
I'm looking at because now I'm curious because Jesse Plemons was just in Killers of the Flower Moon, and he's been in a couple other movies since then. He's about to be in that Civil War movie. that's literally titled Civil War that comes out in like 3 weeks.
Oh, never heard of it.
And Kirsten Dunst is going to be in that too.
How inseparable.
But yeah, I love that they work together.
When
a
did
lot.
they
I
meet?
think
Like, when did they meet and
that's
get
great.
married and stuff?
They met on the set of Fargo, the TV show, in like whatever the mid 2010s, because they were working together, which is so cute. I think that's so great. And then then they got married after that, which is cute.
Nice.
But
Yeah,
she
sweet.
hasn't been in anything else except Civil War as well.
Okay,
So
that's fine. She's had a long career behind her, so
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can
Storied
do what she
even.
wants at this point.
Yeah.
that's yeah.
I'm looking at Benedict Cumberbatch. I feel like he also has a crazy career,
He's been in a lot. I just couldn't.
but he's
tell
still. Yeah. No, he has been in a lot. I mean, he was in the fucking Turing
you.
movie.
Imitation.
That was a good
Imitation
one,
Game.
actually. Yeah.
That's been
yeah,
on my
yeah.
list. It's been between that and the
movies.
Da Vinci Code every time I watch a movie, and then I haven't seen either of them.
That's
I think-
insane.
yeah, I think
Don't watch
Imitation
either of
Game-
those movies.
Wow, that's
I
crazy.
read the Da Vinci Code a couple months ago, and I was like, "This was fucking fire." I want to watch the movie, but I have to pay to watch it on YouTube, so that's been prohibitive because I'm just lazy.
Movie's not as
If
good.
only there was
just
a way
don't.
you could steal movies.
Yeah, right.
I
If only there was
I
a
only
free movie
illegally
online.
download books now because I hate
Wow,
supporting
someone's
authors.
better than the rest of us. Sheesh.
Because I hate artists in general.
Let him starve.
Yeah.
Show him the power of the
I'm
dog.
True. Don't watch the Da Vinci Code. It's bad.
I will
Watch
Don't
Imitation Game. It's
Definitely
not
don't
bad.
watch the Imitation Game's not good either.
It's not bad.
Keira Knightley is in it, right? That's another duo because they were in a tournament
Yeah, but
together.
she's kind of got nothing going for her in that movie. She is basically not. She's basically playing girlfriend. I mean, and she's not even the girlfriend because he's gay. He's just
Yeah,
like
it's-
What? He's gay?
She's playing Beard.
they're buds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
It's a
whole
true
thing
story.
about this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm joking. I
Yeah,
know.
Benny might have some explaining to do. Oh, okay.
Got it.
Alan Turing's actually really cool. He's a cool guy. All right, like I don't know.
You sound like do you remember like 10 years ago when everybody jerked off about Nikola Tesla before like Tesla the company got big? Do you guys remember this period of
No.
like the internet? Where
I've
people,
been
like,
jerking
would-
off to Nikolai Tesla. I don't know what to tell you.
I bet you
like-
have.
Pants
Okay,
to
all right,
poster on
Elon.
his
Yeah.
wall above his bed.
Yeah.
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 Just like an
Floating in the
AC
background.
current wave.
That's actually a movie that Benedict Cumberbatch was in too. Was The Current War? He plays Thomas Edison in it. I forget who plays Tesla, but
Wasn't
Yeah.
Tesla in?
You know, there's actually
The
another movie, The Prestige, which is
yes,
yeah,
that's a good
yeah,
ass
nice.
movie. I can't believe you've seen that, Ricky. That's crazy.
No, Prestige is a great movie. Yeah,
That
I
is
love
a
that
Good-ass
one.
movie.
I really liked that in high school.
Good. Yeah. Maybe Nolan's best movie.
Wow, aren't you kind of a Nolan hater though?
Oh,
I am Christopher Nolan, Mr.
The
Nolan.
director, yeah, he did the Dark Knight.
Interstellar.
Batman.
Dark
yeah. No,
Knight.
so I don't.
Interstellar.
Do I look confused? No, I'm not. I know who it is. He did.
Oh,
Oppenheimer.
okay, all right.
You did
We're
look a
just gonna
little
keep
confused.
feeding you information until you.
He did do Oppenheimer. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
just didn't realize
Opie.
he did Prestige.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's his best movie, I think.
That's Hugh Jackman, isn't it? The main character.
Hugh
there?
Jackman
It
and
sure is.
Christian
Yeah.
Bale.
Yeah.
And-
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Bale himself.
Wow.
Great movie.
I'd let him bail me. Anyway,
Really?
Christian Bale.
It's a no.
Yeah.
That's a no.
Yeah.
See the one I'm thinking of? I mean, Jackman's
I'm-
attractive for sure, and you can't say anything against that, right?
Hugh Jackman's
He's
trying
fine.
too hard.
Hugh Jackman in the Wolverine movie would.
There you go. There you go.
Would not.
Okay.
I don't think. Which Wolverine movie? Because there's like 30 years
The one that
spanning
he was
those
the
movies, I
Wolverine.
guess. There, he's in
First
like
one.
10 movies
It
where he's
came
playing
out in,
Wolverine.
like 2009 or something. I don't know.
Ooh,
Okay,
2009. That would be what, like? That's around the X-Men Origins time, isn't it? It's X-Men
God.
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Sure.
It could be X3. X3 is around there too, but like.
No, the movie
X-Men was
is
2000.
Just Wolverine. Like the movie is just
Okay,
about him.
okay.
It's
Oh,
the
Wolverine.
Oh, 2013. There's no way. 2013.
Well, because he was in Logan too.
Logan.
Yeah,
was
Logan was a good one, but he looks a lot older in there.
Right, but I'm just saying there's several movies that are just about his character.
Yeah.
Gun to my head, could not name all the X-Men movies. Could not do it.
There's so many, and they're so like
didn't
weird
know
and
there were
varied
that many.
too.
They reboot that franchise like 4 times in the last decade, so.
Yeah.
And they're doing
I mean,
it
not
again.
that the original movies were like great, right? But like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wild.
Let's get back on Power of the Dog.
okay,
Can we
no,
talk
no.
about the?
It's X-Men
No, okay,
Origins
nope.
Wolverine came out in 2009.
That's what I said. Boom.
Suck my
Boom.
dick.
Called
Okay,
it.
Ricky and I are right.
No one
I
was
literally
arguing.
called it.
Suck it.
I wasn't arguing.
Suck it, Lade.
Let's
I called
go,
that
Ricky.
though.
I'm
Like,
sucking.
as soon as you're like
I'm-
2009, I was like, oh, I know exactly which X-Men film this
We're on
is.
it,
Like,
we're on
I am deep throating the Wolverine Blu-ray. Okay, like what do you want?
it. Excellent. That's all I needed.
it's the one that's got the 3 claws on the front.
And
Like,
Lee Schreiber's in it.
He's hot.
Who?
I think.
He is hot. He's
Lee
very
Schreiber?
hot. He
Yeah.
does the.
Look him up.
There's a sports, whatever. Sports.
Yeah, I know
guys
what you
don't care.
mean.
Never mind.
Yeah. No. He does the announcement
narration.
for. Yeah. I can't remember.
What's it
Is it
fucking
Sports
called?
Center?
No.
This
no,
guy?
No.
Oh. Yeah, Liev Schreiber. He's hot.
Yeah.
he's got the most angular jaw I've ever seen. Who did he play in X-Men Origins Wolverine?
The bad guy. His like counterpart, the Wolverine's
Doo-doo,
counterpart, where they're like
doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
friends growing up or brothers or something.
Oh, he did look good in this film. I'm not gonna lie. He was
He's a
husky.
good-looking dude.
Yeah.
He played Orson Welles in a movie.
You like
from
that.
the 90s as well.
That's
do
what
fucking
got
like
you,
that.
Lane. Yeah.
Listen, I'm predictable.
Hook, line, and
It's
sinker
fine.
over there. Jeez.
That's fine. Hook, line, and stinker, like the smell of the. Never mind.
No. Okay.
Like the smell of the room. Say it, Lane. Say it.
I was gonna say I don't need to say it. Fill it in the blanks. It's fine.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fucking
Liev
Mad Libs,
Schreiber
bro. Like,
is
have
the
fun.
narrator for Hard Knocks on HBO. It's a sports thing. Anyway.
Word.
Word.
So the power of the dog.
Oh,
Get back on the power of the dog.
That old thing.
Can
Yeah.
I just say the rope
Yeah.
or like the cow whip or whatever?
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Really, really cool meta. I don't know if it's a metaphor. I don't know if it's just a
Why don't you consult your
plot
book of
device.
literary devices that you always like to reference here?
Um,
You just pick up
Yeah.
a cat.
yeah.
Oh my god.
There's
Oh,
one
all right.
bad
Well,
foot.
Lionel got out for me there. Oh yeah, I mean there are 3 right here, but they don't like getting picked up.
The rope.
Yeah, I don't know like what to call it. The like plot device, but it's a really really cool way to show like their relationship, and like how it sort of, I don't know, builds, and then like ultimately culminates like in the kid killing him and like killing him through the rope, which is like I don't know. I just think
Yeah,
it's like
this thing
it's
they
really neat.
bond
right?
over.
Yeah, can we?
Yeah,
let me
it's-
talk about how, for the listeners that have not seen this movie. So, Peter.
No one is
goes-
listening to this or this podcast if they haven't watched the movie. You are the only person.
I don't
said.
know.
Okay, well,
I
if
think
I were
they-
listening to this and I
I
hadn't
think there's
seen
a lot
it, I
of
would want to
listeners
know.
out there.
So, what was it? What was the? It was fucking
Anthrax?
anthrax. Okay, so when they
Mm-hmm.
when Peter and Phil first went out, there were like dead cows that were all bloated and shit, and Phil was like, "Don't touch those; they are infected with anthrax." So when Peter is like, "Okay, I'm gonna kill this guy," he goes out, finds a dead cow that's infected, cuts some hide from the cow, dries it, and that's what he gives Phil to make the rope that Phil is making for Peter, knowing that he's going to get infected and die.
One thing I'll say though, I don't think he goes out and pulls it and is like, I am then going to wait for my mom to sell all the hides so that then I can have an opportunity to give the rope to, like, I think he just was like, this will be good to have in my back pocket, this poisoned rawhide.
Yeah.
And then it just comes up at the right,
Yeah.
like, the kid's calculating, but he couldn't have known like the chain of events.
Totally.
But I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was just going for the anthrax, right? And it's like it's easy enough to
Yeah, he
poison the
knew.
guy, like no matter how, you know.
Yeah, he's like,
And
this'll
especially
come-
once they start getting closer, yeah.
Yeah. So when
Yeah.
Phil castrates the bull with no gloves, he slices his hand. And then you can see a scene where they're soaking the rawhide so he can braid it. And the tub of water is like getting cloudy with the blood from his cut. And
It's
they're like,
nasty.
Oh, yeah, that anthrax is
Yeah.
fucking getting in there. He's dead.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There's also like the way that he like pulls at like the rawhide, like when he's tying it and everything too. It's like it's really sort of like there's a lot of attention like on his hands, and I mean
And
I get
it's
that they're
right
building
at
like
crotch level.
yeah I get that they're
Yeah.
building up like sexual tension there,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like the whole time like every like step that he like makes with it, it's like every time you're like oh like that's poison, dude. Like you're dying, bro. I don't know. It's really cool.
Well, yeah, and when they're talking, this is when when they're making the final finishing touches on the rope is when he's like, yeah, you know, me and Bronco Henry used to snuggle together in the mountains to keep warm and like shit like that
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
So
And that was
The-
when he was braiding.
The cigarette scene,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
crazy.
That was crazy.
I would have folded so fast. Oh, like over immediately.
That was so that was that when he was like, Bronco Henry found me, you know, cold. I would have died without him. We kept warm body.
And
to
he's like,
body
"Were you
in his
naked?
Bedroll."
Were
And
you
then
naked?
Peter was like, "You did." And
do you think
that
they
was
explored
when
each other's bodies?
He was braiding. Phil was braiding the new rope into the old
Like,
rope,
something.
connecting them.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa, this is so sexual. And then
Hell yeah.
Peter lights a cigarette and is smoking it and then holds his hands up to Phil so Phil can smoke the cigarette out of his hands. And it was like insanely sexual.
Horny. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Very.
And even when he was like packing it, when he was like licking it and everything, and he's as he's talking to him, like it's very
Yeah.
like just laced with sexual tension, like the whole time.
And while Phil was braiding, Peter goes over to Bronco Henry's
And he's, like,
saddle
flicking
and is
the
like
spur.
caressing it, and Phil's like watching out of the corner of his eye. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Oh, it's good stuff.
Definitely playing a temptress in that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to go back to it. You called Phil a what is it? A
He's called him a
succubus
lot of things.
or a
Oh, yeah.
seductress?
Succubus, yeah.
A succubus, yeah, specifically. I don't know. I think he incubus, but I think he sort of contributes
those
to
are
to the
different.
ranch.
They're different. An incubus like puts in, a succubus sucks out. So it
Wow.
is
Well, we
different.
don't know. We don't know either way then, right? You know,
Well, I'm
he's a
not saying I'm not
switchubus.
talking about his
Energy-wise.
verse, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there is a sort of like give and take to the relationship that he has with his brother on the ranch, right? Because like I don't see
Yeah, it's
any...
a love-hate relationship. George loves him and fucking Phil hates him. Like I don't know.
You think it's that like
No, I don't
I
think
don't
he's
know, not
getting
one
anything
dimensional,
from him.
but like one-sided. I don't know.
I don't think it's
I guess.
one-sided so much. I mean, like, George just doesn't know any better, I think. He is kind of a doofus, so he doesn't
Yeah.
know, you know, that he's... Until he meets Rose, you know, I don't think he even realizes how poorly he's being treated and, like, how kind of out-of-pocket Phil has been this whole time. Until he sees the way he treats this kid. And because, right, they probably don't ever come across kids, much less little twinks, you know, that are getting, like, treated like ass. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll say the only times we see Jesse Plemons' character is like after he's already learned it, right? Like it's like
Well, in
once
the
he's
very
already being
beginning.
cold to his brother, right?
I don't think he's being
to him.
cold. I think
Really?
that, like, in the beginning he's cold not because I think he's just used to it, and then
That's just
once
like his
he
natural isolation, like yeah.
Yeah, and then once he goes to the restaurant, and they meet Kirsten Dunst and Peter, like I think that's when it clicks into place with him. Like, I could get married. Like maybe there are women that will date me, even though I'm, you know, whatever, like a kind of a loser compared to my upstanding, tall, handsome, whatever brother, you know, my accomplished Yale brother.
Yeah, I guess that's also kind of a way that Phil keeps him there, right? It's like
Totally, yeah.
he keeps him down, and he's like, hey, like you're not worth
Yeah, he's
anything.
calling him
That's
fatso
why you have to stay with me.
constantly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. but it's so that he can keep him in his orbit and keep him, suffering more or less with him, as a bachelor, a perpetual bachelor.
Yeah. That was a good point, Lane, that you said earlier, that he's pissed because when they were both single, it kind of took some of the gay heat off of Phil. So he's extra pissed that he's booed up, and now he's like, well, fuck. I'm alone.
Yeah.
And I'm gay. This blows.
Totally. Yeah. Alone and gay, and my, shithead brother isn't even here to, soften the blow for it. Yeah.
Right.
And then he gets extra pissed because he meets the kid, and the kid is so obviously, gay and not ashamed of it and not, repressing it or anything. He's not, out, but he's, probably, as out and queer or whatever as he could be in the 20s. And, I think that just adds to the, seething, way that Phil thinks of him. So, but we should talk about the, first off, we should talk about the porn in the woods. Classic porn in the woods cinema here.
Classic porn stash in the woods,
Yeah.
Yeah, and pretty much everything is taken from this movie, right? Like, this movie was the blueprint for porn in the woods. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I just magazines.
Yeah. Play Bronco.
Yeah, I do like that. Yeah, back in the day, it was we gotta pretend it's just a bodybuilder thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? No, okay.
You say back in the day, but there's still people that do that now, right? And it's very much so where it's all right, well,
we know what this is about. I know what.
Yeah. Let's drop the pretenses here, just a tad, right?
Yeah.
You don't need that much baby oil, right?
Yeah. We see his dick in this movie. When he pulls out the scarf. Yeah.
Yes, the scarf.
Oh, yeah.
That's just drenched. He keeps in his crotch, I guess, in his
Hell
pants and chaps, and
it's a cock ring.
Fucking washes, and he's brushing it all over his face.
Yeah, he
pushes
right.
a
Yeah.
fucking whiff of it. It's it's
what
just
was
so
that?
sad at this point. Because
What do you mean? What was that, Ricky?
What was that? What was going on there?
He's just so.
The subtext is so thick for me.
Sexually obsessed
that's
with
not the only thing
Henry,
that's thick. Yeah.
Because that's the first gay experience he's ever had, and he's so.
And maybe the only.
Yeah.
And maybe the only, and he's so obsessed with that one thing because he knows he can't have it again. And from the math I did, it's been 21 years since Bronco Henry died. And he's still...
It's been 84 years.
Sniffing that fucking bandana. I don't know. It's just God damn it, man. Does your life have to be as miserable as you're making it? No, I don't think
go back to Yale.
Easy, but fucking go back to Yale!
And it was right after he walks by... It was right after he walks by the 4 cowhands who are all all in the nude, all wrestling in the water, having a good time. Yeah. And it's obviously they're very comfortable with that, right? I'm not gonna comment on what their sexuality is, but I mean, buddy, come on, there you got to be able to find your company there at a certain point. It's been 25 years or 21 since Bronco Henry said, so it's well.
Yeah.
But he has to keep it to himself. He's got the grove, that's his inner peace,
I guess there is an interesting dimension to it because of, not to bring age gap discourse into this, but because of the age difference, it is it's the
power dynamics.
Yeah, the power dynamics of the dog, the power of the dynamics. I don't know. Workshop that
the power of the dog dynamics.
Yeah, thank you.
Dog dynamics. The first time I watched, I was okay, it's very clear that there's a huge age gap. And the second time I watched, I was this seems more nefarious than before. I don't know. It's just very...
Yeah.
Bronco Henry knew him when he was so young, and I don't know. It was just much more groomy than I thought about it the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, even then though, it's I mean, it's obviously difficult for, at the very least, Phil to like open up about this, right? So it's like, well, it's kind of understandable that like he might have only had one partner, and like there might be a big age gap between them, just because like at the time, right? Like it's not like you can really be out, right?
Yeah.
So, and especially not as like
I'm
super
curious,
masculine
like,
cowhand, right?
What the gay culture was like in America in the 20s.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
curious
because
about
like
that.
pre-50s, it was supposed to actually be better for gay people before like McCarthyism. Like, yeah, like that it was a little bit more, not acceptable necessarily, but just like you didn't have to like fear violence in the same way that you did in like the 50s and 40s. Like,
Yeah.
So the author of the book, The Power of the Dog, like was a gay man. And
yeah,
I think
it was
they
autobiographical
were-
in a lot of ways. Yeah.
right,
Really?
right. But like
I
the
did
time
not know
period,
that.
they were young around like the 20s. Like around the time the movie
Right.
takes place, they would have been like Peter's age, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, because it's like his perspective is Peter's. Like his
Yeah.
perspective was that his dad died and then his mom remarried to like this dude. So, yeah.
and I think he had like a bad stepdad, like a very oppressive stepdad, not like
yeah.
step uncle or anything like that. But it's still interesting how he later did like go on and become married just because like that was the sort of social standard of the day, right? So even like I would assume that would be around the 50s or so that like he was looking to get married.
The
Or
30,
like 40s
39
or 50s. 39.
is
All
when
right,
it
so
says
40,
he
40,
was
60,
married,
yeah.
yeah.
So it's like even then, like the standard is like, well, like even if you're gay, even if you know like yourself, you can't really. It's just not like acceptable to like publicly
Yeah.
be gay, right?
Hey, you know what actually this is reminding me of?
Hmm.
Maestro. Good movie. I'm on record. I'm saying it. Maestro, good movie. Weird movie about the gay
It wasn't
stuff.
as bad
but
as I thought it would be.
that's
I
kind
did
of how I felt.
actually
too.
enjoy
Yeah.
it. I had to skip through that like song and dance number in the first third of the movie.
Really? Oh, I feel like that was like some of the more revealing. You should go back and watch it, like in
Yeah, I will.
isolation. Like it
I watched
It
like
tells-
half
it
of
adds
and I
to
was
the
like,
storytelling.
This is fucking drawing. Like I need to skip through it. Sorry. I watched the rest of it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was
You're
actually
okay.
pretty good. I thought
Yeah.
fucking Carrie Mulligan was
Mulligan,
very good.
yeah.
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 I thought it was good.
Yeah, Ricky, you should watch it and give us your hot takes.
Maestro. We'll see. We'll
Maestro,
see if I can fit it
yeah.
into my one movie a week schedule.
That's a lot.
Well, we're definitely not talking about it on the
One
podcast.
movie.
Yeah, right.
I'm
Yeah.
like a movie a
Jeez.
month.
You're never
Yeah,
gonna be
well-
able to keep up with the pod then.
Did I
Yeah,
tell you that
honestly.
my New Year's resolution was to watch every single Tom Cruise movie? And I've not watched
You
a
did, because
single
I sent you-
Oh, interesting.
That's okay. I mean, it's a lot, but it's not that many. You can
It's
watch
a
whatever
lot.
40
It's
movies
over
before the end of the
50.
year.
It's over 50.
You can cruise through those one every
That's
6
barely-
days. Come on.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say.
actually,
have to
you can
be,
do
like-
you can do one every 7, once a week.
The only movies that I would watch in the year are Tom Cruise movies.
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
Set aside a day.
Buckle up.
one day a
I just-
week. You know,
Especially in the summer. I
Do,
feel
like,
I
Tom
don't
Cruise
just, like,
Tuesdays,
sit down and
you know?
watch TV though. In the summer.
Yeah.
Not even on Tom Cruise Tuesday.
Tommy Two's
Tommy
To
Tuesday.
Cruise Day, actually.
Cruising Tuesdays? Like, come on.
Just watch his watch the Mission Impossibles, watch the Top Guns, watch
Okay,
his
I've
like
seen the Top
Oscar-y
Guns.
movies. Yeah. So
The thing
you're already 2 down.
You're far the way there.
The
Yeah,
thing
come
that got me
on.
started on this was I watched Jerry Maguire, and it was like the
You know,
most
I haven't seen that, yeah.
insane- You need to watch it. I've been telling everyone that they need
I've
to watch
heard.
it. It is the craziest movie I've ever seen. Like it makes
Is it like the contemporary Lizzie McGuire or?
No, shut the fuck up, Ricky.
Jerry Maguire's her dad. This is like the prequel to the Lizzie McGuire movie.
Oh, okay, all right. I'll keep that in mind for the lore when I watch it.
God.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a gun
Tom
in my
Cruise
mouth.
goes like full like insane Nick Cage in this movie. Just like crazy,
Yeah.
like
He's stealing the
whatever this
Declaration of
movie
Independence.
is.
Oh my god.
God.
Somebody get that man.
Whatever vampire
Shit.
movie Nick Cage is in, it's like almost to that performance level. It
Hey, well, T. Cruz is in a vampire movie, so you know.
What
he's in the
vampire
one with,
movies?
the other
Interview
guy
with the
that's hot,
Vampire.
Brad Pitt, right?
With Brad Pitt.
yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
The hottest those two have looked. Save that one for the October week, the October Cruise Day. That you,
Yeah.
do. Yeah,
Oh, because it's vampires.
I'll
like
give you the-
Halloween-y.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like-
Oh,
I
it's
feel like
a
there's
very
probably not
moody.
a ton of other like Tom
Yeah.
Cruise-y Halloween movies.
Have
I don't
you
know, Tropic
seen,
Thunder? I
I
mean-
think it's called Born on the 4th of July. Something about the 4th of July.
I haven't seen that one.
Where he
Yeah,
plays a
it's supposed to be good.
Vietnam vet, and that
Yeah,
one also
that's supposed to be good.
insane.
Was he
Yeah.
actually born on the 4th of July, or
No,
title
he
a
plays like
misnomer?
like
Okay,
a
it's a
disabled
misnomer, yeah.
veteran, if I remember. It's like
Oh,
an
that's-
anti-war movie.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
by
okay.
Oliver Stone, who did like Platoon and JFK and those movies. Yeah, I don't know that there's any other Tom Cruise-y Halloween movies. I guess The Firm. The Firm's a good one. That's like a lawyer thriller, kind of like a Jack Grisham. Eyes Wide Shut.
I've seen Eyes Wide Shut.
a good
yeah,
movie.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, great fucking
yeah.
movie. Anyway, do we have anything else to say about The Power of the Dog? Liesl, you want to check your notes?
I'm checking my notes. Oh, the music dueling scene. I really liked that scene.
Yeah.
Where she's playing the piano.
What a dick.
And he like is
So mean.
upstairs on his banjo, like playing it better. Yeah.
yeah, and
That's
even like
so
riffing
aggro.
off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if he just like knew the entire song before she had played it, but like he was going way past like the part that she was getting stuck on.
Well,
and
considering his hobbies seem to be jacking off in the woods, not bathing, and playing the banjo, like he's probably got all the little tunes like memorized.
and nobody likes the banjo.
Yeah.
He was
He
kind of
makes it sound
strumming that
good.
thing.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
he kind of makes it sound good. The music, the soundtrack in the movie is good too. It's not like the
Yeah.
kind of like sweeping Western score that you would expect. It's good. It's discordant and kind of creepy. It's good.
Yeah,
really
almost
like
like understated. It pushes the
Yeah.
tension in every scene, but it's nothing. Like you said, it's nothing
Yeah.
vast. It's not like
Yeah, yeah. It sets a good tone.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I did make.
And
a
you know,
note
it
that
really
this-
helps.
Sorry, Ricky. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I mean, it just like when you see Kirsten Dunst like spiral, right? Like the music like plays a big part. At least for me, it played a big part in like oh, like she's really not doing good right now.
This
so.
okay, so this is why I felt like she was kind of making a little bit over the top choices with her acting. Like in the scene when she kind of fails to play the piano and Phil comes down and ridicules her in front of like the parents and the governor or whatever, they all walk out, and then she like turns and grabs a mixed drink and like starts downing it like in this like really comical way, and the music does
Like all
something
all
there,
of all
too.
of the fucking umbrellas just like,
Yeah, they're
push
just
out of
like,
the way, yeah.
oh yeah, they're like cascading down. Yeah, and so I don't know. I don't think she's bad necessarily, but it's a less interesting. I think she's good in the scene where she's talking to Peter and kind of like in the monologue scene that we were talking about. I think she's good there, but other than that, I do feel like she's kind of doing a bit of a caricature of a drunk. I don't know.
I kind of agree
But
with you.
it's not
I
a shoot.
think
Yeah.
because she wasn't like anti-drinking. Well, I don't know, kind of, because her husband.
Well, she
an
was because her
alcoholic, right?
husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she made like a big deal about not drinking, and then that was the scene. She was like, I fucking had enough of this. I can't take it anymore. And she like gulps down
Yeah.
this cocktail. So I understand like why it's a bit more dramatic, but would it have been more impactful if it was subtle, or was that possible? Or I totally get what you mean though. She
Yeah.
was kind of hamming it up, but yeah.
Yeah. Even if she
I
had
think
just
part
like
of that's-
turned and grabbed it, but not like downed it immediately, and it was just like implied, I feel like that would have been better. Go ahead, Ricky.
Yeah, or like a little bit more internal conflict there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the plot also sort of plays that up, just because, like, when they're like, oh, like she's storing liquor everywhere, especially when it showed her, like, puking out in, like, the alley and then, like, pulling out, like, a secret handle.
And he's, like, whistling at her. That part's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So
The
specific.
whistling. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And it's like really off-putting, off kilter almost.
Yeah. But then
really cool.
she like gets up and kind of does like a cartoon. She's doing like Looney Tunes drunk there. She's like looking up like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like she thinks the
Yeah.
wrath of God is coming down on her. It's a little much.
Yeah.
But I think she's great in the first part of the movie before she plays a drunk. I think she's excellent there. But
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. She plays a controlling mother very well, I'll say.
yeah. Yeah, she draws a good balance between like trying to protect her son and going overboard with it and like chasing after, you know,
And,
when
and
she
having
comes
that
out,
even be like, yeah, when she comes out, she's like, why are they together? Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah,
just
George
Clemens
is like,
just
because they're
well,
friends. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Like, chill out.
they seem to
Yeah.
kind of already, pair it up a
Yeah.
little bit, so I think I'll just let them mosey on out. Yeah,
What a
but-
mensch.
yeah, right? But it kind of pushes Pete towards him, right? It pushes Pete towards Phil because she's like, hey, like, I noticed you've been getting like really close to him, yada yada, and like, at least to a certain degree, he is, right? There is definitely like some emotional vulnerability there, right?
Yeah.
Even if he's killing the guy, right? Which, I mean, it makes it even more interesting that he is killing him and that that he can get so close to someone who he like obviously sort of reviles at like different levels. So
Something I've noticed
cool
from
film.
listening to other podcasts is that Ricky says yada yada a lot, which I really like.
I do. Did
Was
I
that
yada
in your
yada there?
notes?
I didn't even
Yeah.
notice it.
Yeah, you did.
Wow.
Sometimes it's rude to point things out like that, Liesl. to other
Yeah,
people
right?
About themselves.
Why?
Liesl, I've got, like-
I'm kidding.
At least I have a number of catchphrases, and if I hear any of them, it like sleeper cell fucking activates me. Like, no, I don't. I've never said that before in my fucking life. Don't you dare.
Oh my god. Liesl, do you have any other notes you'd like to share with us, with the class? Was that your note?
I don't think so. That was my note. Yeah, that was my note.
We got all the questions out, all the questions answered. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
In
so.
this
we're topped
book
off on
club.
Power of the Dog.
I just
Yeah.
really want to know some more backstory to Phil.
Yeah.
What did he do in between Bronco Henry and now? I want to know about those Yale days so bad.
Not
Yeah, what's he up
bathe.
to? You
What
know,
was he doing on the
like
West Coast? I need to know.
I don't know. I kind of like where the movie, like, sort of. I don't know. I like seeing what we see of the characters throughout the film.
Oh,
They
totally.
feel very
Yeah.
sort of complete, right? Yeah,
I don't think they should have included it, but I want to know.
right. They make like
What's
a
the name?
prequel.
Yeah.
We get to see Bronco Henry braiding a fucking bow whip for him.
What's the name of... There's no protagonist... The protagonist in The Great Gatsby doesn't have a name, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he does.
I'm just...
It's like Nick.
Does he?
It's Nick something.
Nick.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't Nick his...
Yeah.
Isn't Nick his friend? I thought Nick
is
was
the
his friend.
main
I'm wrong.
character.
I think Nick
Isn't
is the main
he-
character. Yeah.
Okay.
It's Nick something.
Isn't he gay? Isn't there a scene where he's a little gay in that book?
I
Am I
mean, he's
making this up?
I don't
Something.
remember, but
I'm just saying.
I think he's...
Maybe Phil like went by his middle name and went to go hang out. With
Oh
him,
yeah.
you know, is what I'm getting at here.
Went to see the green light of Days.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like other 20s gays, and I mean, I'm kind of coming up short there.
have
Not
you
my
been
time
to
period of
Detroit
expertise.
recently, Lane? Sorry, you can bleep that out.
No, you're fine. Not in like 2 years. Why?
Okay. Because do you know Jumana, the lawyer, the sexy lawyer with her
Yeah,
with
yeah,
her
yeah. Of
billboards
course I know
everywhere?
Jumana Kairouz. Yeah.
When I was there last,
Go-
she has billboards with just her eyes, and I was like, the eyes of T.J.
I'm Googling this
Eckleberg?
right now.
Anyone? Like, oh my god, amazing! I love Jumana.
Wait, I have to see
Jumana
this.
sponsor the pod.
Hang in. Jesus, Jumana, come on the pod.
Facts.
Ricky, there's this like injury lawyer in like the Metro Detroit area, and she's like, she looks like Iggy Azalea, but like 50. She's been like 50 years old since we were kids, probably. So
Nice, good on her.
And yet,
Immortalized through the billboards of Chicago.
She has these, well, this is Detroit, not Chicago, but she has these crazy billboards that are just like her face and like her, like, I mean, she looks, you know, she looks the way she does. And yeah, it's just the eyes of TJ Eckleberg.
It's so great, like,
That's,
dead on, man.
There's, I've bitched about this before. There's like a neon sign for the university across the street for University, and it's like the color green that you would think that the eyes are in like The Great Gatsby. I will send a picture after this because it's so ugly and like, yeah, offensive to the eyes.
You've got like the Kramer room situation. It's just green inside.
You have said this exact thing.
You Seinfeld, but I remember that episode where like the chicken
the chicken place. Yeah.
Across the street.
What you got going on in there?
I'm almost certain that when I brought this up on a previous episode, you made the same reference, Ricky.
Yeah, probably. So. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Almost 100%. Liesl's a true watcher. They put that in the brain.
I've seen 5 episodes, and that's one of them.
Filed it away.
Oh God, I have Cody Smith McPhee's Wikipedia page open here. Let's get out of this. Let's go back to
so shocked he hasn't been in anything since.
He's been in Elvis. He was one of Elvis's like dudes in the Elvis movie, but that's it. And he was a small role.
The Austin Butler Elvis or the other Elvis?
Yeah, the Austin Butler Elvis. Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't watch
Pretty
that.
good movie.
I saw someone else watching it on the plane, and like the first scene, he has like an
good
IV or something. Because he's like whatever on tour and like old and dehydrated and shit. And I was like, needles, not for me.
Actually, he couldn't shit. He was not shit at all.
That was part of the problem, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, a big part of it. Like 20 pounds of just intestinal backup.
Do you think Cody Smith McPhee knew about that?
Grisly, like that's so horrible to be like on the toilet and you're either like a combination of being so constipated that it's like fucking with your other organs, and also the fact that you're like pushing so hard on the toilet that you like have a stroke is like, wow. R.I.P. Elvis.
Yeah.
Shout out Elvis.
Shout out Elvis.
On that note. Do we have anything else to say about The Power of the Dog?
Pretty good movie. I liked it overall, you know.
Good movie. Great movie. I liked it more on the second viewing, for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely, if you guys like this, I definitely recommend The Piano. And if you want to go a little bit more horny, if you're like into the horny, either The Piano or In the Cut is her other, Jane Campion's other movie. That movie is the movie that made me realize, like, I understood the Mark Ruffalo thing after watching In the Cut. I was like, oh, I see. I get it now.
Is he in that movie?
So, yeah, he's playing, like, a character like you've never seen him play before, probably. And it's good.
He's
Don't
there
look
to
up
ruffalo
anything.
some feathers, if you get my drift.
It's like a sleazy, kind of gross sex drama thriller, creepy, kind of like almost a horror movie.
Poor Things, except comedy sex instead of thriller sex. He's like a sleazy sex comedist.
He's a different kind of sleazy.
Comedian.
Yeah, he's a different sleazy. Comedian. Humorist. No. Whereas in Poor Things he's like a cad, like a like a player. He's kind of like, I don't want to say anything else. Just he's like a little villainous in
Meg Ryan?
In the Cut.
Okay,
you're not sure.
I'm in.
It's good. It's really good. It's like a good like late night. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Nice.
Mark Ruffalo says something in that movie that's so disgustingly hot. I still think about it. Anyway,
I'm in. Are you guys gonna watch Fahrenheit 9/11 next week?
Yeah, it is a Rick's pick.
Oh, it is still a Rick's pick. Fuck.
We can watch Fahrenheit 9/11 if you want.
I didn't come up with anything better than that. So
there's a whole ass list. I'm surprised you haven't brought up The Godfather again. To be like, we should watch The Godfather.
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm not too worried about like picking a like prestigious film. We could do Fifth Element or something though. That's one that
Well,
I
Fifth...
wanted to do for a while, but you might have thoughts on that, right?
I mean, that's like I've come to terms with the fact that you want me to yell on this podcast, so I'll do it. But we should wait.
Listen, I had a rant cast. You need a rant cast.
I don't want to rant, despite the fact that that is our highest listened episode, basically.
Well, hey,
people
we know what
love
the people
your
want.
ranting.
Which one was it?
The Last Airbender. Did you
Last
listen to
Airbender.
it?
Oh, I didn't listen to it.
Yeah.
Good.
That's
It's just
good.
me getting
Yeah.
mad.
Nice.
It's the longest
Face red,
episode.
vein
and
popping.
Yeah, Ricky is unhinged in that episode.
Okay,
so
I'm gonna listen to it right after we end this call.
you might want to take another beer out of the fridge.
Yeah, you might want a couple, honestly.
But no,
I've got thoughts
Fifth
about
Element-
Avatar.
yeah, we don't listen. Do not fucking open this can of worms right now.
The last 20
Fifth
minutes
Element-
of the last
Being so
episode
normal about
was
this.
Ricky suggesting movies and Lane being like, no, that's a horrible pick. I don't want to watch that, but I'll let you pick whatever you want. And of course, Ricky's like, well, I'm not going to pick that now. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, like what
And
can
it was
I
like
do?
20 minutes of Lane being like, we're not watching Fahrenheit
Well-
9/11, and then was finally
And that's
like,
We were
after
waiting
the
to tell you
cuts,
what to do.
okay? Like,
Part of why that went on so long was because we were waiting for you to respond on
I know,
Discord,
I know.
Liesl. So
My bad. My bad.
no, it's good. It's good. It made good
Really
listen.
good, yeah.
Listening.
that was good potting, yeah.
We can't do Fifth Element because that movie is coming to theaters later this year, and we should do it when it's coming back to
Oh.
theaters.
So we also can't do any of the Spider-Man movies then, too.
Is Spider-Man coming into the theater again?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah,
I thought it was Shrek that you were into.
Shrek is also doing that. Shrek 2, I think. Yeah.
It's a Rick's pick, and Rick can pick.
Pick Shrek 2, and then it'll be Liesl's sequel.
Ooh.
We can't have you back on the pod so soon.
I know.
We have to space it out. He's got to
Ooh.
scrutinize it.
Oh, there is one out in theaters right now. We could watch End of Evangelion.
I thought you told me that movie was like inscrutable if you hadn't seen the TV show. Or maybe it
I
wasn't
wouldn't say
you, maybe Christopher
inscrutable,
told
but
me.
like
That means it's
I-
inscrutable.
it's a different take on the ending of the show. I don't see it on the list, but I still think we should watch it. It's a different take on the ending of the series, which I don't know, maybe won't have as much impact without like knowing the series of the characters. I mean, actually, it definitely won't, right? But it's still still pretty good, and it's also out in theaters right now too. So
Well, let me see. I know it was in theaters. I don't know if it's still in theaters, so at least not near me. Let me see. It is not in theaters near me. I would almost rather just watch the TV show.
yeah,
I mean, with a little more lead time, perhaps.
okay, all right, okay.
I would be okay. I wouldn't want to do because it's a couple seasons, right? Like it's not like
No, I think it's only 24 episodes.
only.
I could be wrong.
So that's 12 hours of content. If we were gonna do
No,
that,
it's like 8. They're 20-minute episodes.
okay. So 8 hours of content. So like 3 to 4 movies worth of. If we were gonna do that, I'd want to space it out and have it be like in 2 weeks we'll talk about this, so that we
Okay,
can.
fair.
Yeah.
It
But-
would also be cool to like watch part of it and then like be like, oh hey, so like what are your thoughts like on this episode, yada yada, like
Oh,
here's where we're
sure.
stopping, and then yeah. Anyway, but
We can do Fahrenheit
since you're gonna say
9/11.
let's not do that now, yeah, I'm cool with Fahrenheit 9/11. That's fine.
You don't have to sound so sad about it.
I'm not. I'm trying not to, but I wear my heart on my sleeve. You know how it goes.
No. Well, what do you want to watch? Do you want to watch?
no, Fahrenheit 9/11 is
Evangelion?
good. No, Fahrenheit 9/11 is good. Let's watch it.
Well, I think it isn't good. I think is what we're gonna find out. But I think it'll be good for us to talk about.
All right, let's not watch it.
I think it'll be fun to talk about. I think it'll be like we can really come at it. We can talk about 9/11 porn. We can talk about like like
True.
politics.
Okay.
Michael Moore.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So next week we want to watch Fahrenheit 9/11 from 2002, directed by Michael
Directed
Moore?
by
2002?
Michael Moore.
No, it was later because it was
Right,
That
it was the
was
2002
Bowling for
Oscars. So it was
Columbine.
what, 2003?
Yeah, Bowling for Columbine was the one that he won the Oscar for. So 2004. So Fahrenheit 9/11 from 2004. In case somebody accidentally went and watched the other Fahrenheit 9/11, I would hate for them to do that ahead of the pod, not know what we're talking about.
There's another one?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Bullshit. Liesl, thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, this was great.
Is there anything you want to plug, as if we're like an official podcast?
Or give like a shout out or something, yeah.
I know it's just gonna dox me. Not that I really care.
Fair, understandable. Yeah, you can still like give the shout out, and we can bleep it. So like you can say like, hey, like
okay, perfect.
I shouted you out here.
If there are any tree fruit or potato growers in listening to this podcast, check out system for tree fruit and or potato, and email me if you have any questions.
Woo! Let's go tree fruit and potato growers.
What am I supposed to bleep out of that?
Shout out the whole thing, everything.
Potato growers.
I'm just gonna leave like potato.
And throughout the university and location, but yeah.
Oh, and kill the spotted lanternfly if you find any of those. Definitely kill those.
On site.
Yep.
Instant
all my homies hate the spotted lanternfly.
In a bad way.
Anti shout out.
Have you? have any of y'all been to Philadelphia ever since the spotted lanternfly thing happened?
I've been there, yeah, but.
So when it got like really bad, like 2 summers ago or something, like there were like hundreds everywhere, and people took like a vengeful righteous glory approach to like killing them. It was weird. Like, it was freaky to like walk around, like people were like stomping on them and shit. And, like, if you didn't step on one, they'd be like, "Hey man, you missed one." Like,
not very patriotic.
You don't want to get a foot in on this thing.
Michael Moore should have been warning us about it in Fahrenheit 9/11. That true patriots would have.
Facts. Yeah.
Sick.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks. Thanks again for being on the pod. Yeah. And next week,
had a blast.
We'll be watching Fahrenheit 9/11.
Cool.
This was sweet.
I will listen.
Sweet.
And not watch the movie.
Yay. We will not be recapping. We do not want to recap.
That's your right, but yeah, we're not recapping.
Just watch the trailer.
I might give like a little recap before Lane like cuts
Stop
me
taking
off halfway through
don't
it.
take feedback on this.
I don't understand why you're so resistant.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Because why would I waste
Don't
time?
take
If you're
feedback.
listening to this
You spent,
podcast and
like,
you haven't seen the
10
movie,
minutes
then
talking
either
about Ricky's
A,
protein consumption last time. You could have been talking about the movie.
yeah, and it's more fun.
Yeah. That's because I was eating then. I was eating at that time, so we could have talked it. We could talk that now if
Because
we want. We can
here's
fill
the
10 minutes of that if
Here's
you.
the thing. Here's the thing. If he and I tried to do like a recap of a movie, it would take us like 35 minutes.
Just do a quick
Even if we were
We
just
tried.
reading.
Just
yeah.
read a little blurb.
We tried on
That's
the
what
earlier
Wikipedia
ones.
is for. Listen,
my God.
I'm not
Yeah,
bowing
facts.
to the haters here.
Listen to like the early pods, like even like in Cindy's, like right around there, like we
Fuck that movie.
would like try to like give like a play by play, and then it would just evolve into, oh yeah, you remember like this scene, and then it's just not gonna happen.
If you're
right?
listening to
Like,
this podcast and you're not watching movies along and you're just doing it for the love of the game, then read the goddamn Wikipedia.
seems like you're not a real
description.
watcher.
Yeah,
you
you're
know?
not a real wannabe.
real watchers are gonna be watching with us because we wanna watch. All
Well,
right.
stop.
If we had theme music,
go
it would
Wanna
go
Be
so
Army.
hard.
We're doing a real Midwestern goodbye right now, where we've signed off 3 different times, and yet we keep talking.
Yeah, I know,
That's
right?
okay.
It's kind of crazy. We're like, oh well, I think it's about time
Slapping
we
the
get
We're
out.
like on the porch by now, but we cannot let go.
I've got some casserole inside if you want to come pick some of
All
that
right.
up. Yeah, it just go to waste.
Hello, my name is Liesl, and this is my audition to be on We Wanna Watch. Here goes. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and, by opposing, end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. to die, to sleep perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil might give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's gone wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin. Okay, I haven't read this since high school, so yeah, there you go.